Alright, if you stick around to the end of this video, you're going to find out why every single artist, in my opinion, should have a recording studio in their home. What's going on? It's Pimp Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music into Millions podcast, where we show rappers the tools and resources that they need in order to be successful without needing to wait on a record label, because, come on, we don't want to have to wait on anybody. We want to do this on our own time. So, like I said, today we're going to talk about why every single artist should have a recording studio in their home. In my opinion, this is like crucial, and it's a great way to develop yourself as an artist. So pretty much let's get right into it. So number one, and honestly one of my favorite reasons, is it saves you a lot of money in the long term. If you've ever been to a recording studio, you know it's not cheap. Even if you have a friend that may do it for, like $15, $20 an hour, that still comes down to a lot of money in the long term, especially if you don't know how to do any of this stuff yourself. So if you get a recording studio at home, a lot of times it is a big investment in the first time. Well, it's not even that big of an investment, because you could honestly get everything that you need. I did the math and sat down. You can get pretty much everything you need for about $300 or less. And that's one-time fee. Like, you never have to pay that again. Like, if you go to a recording studio, you have to pay every single time that you go, which, I mean, makes sense. You're going and getting a service done. But we don't want to have to spend that money, because that's money that you can put into advertising and marketing, or merchandise, or getting graphics done, or something else that is way better spent than, just wasting money to do that. So yeah, definitely it is a big help there, because saving money is always a bonus. So number two reason that I feel like artists should have a recording studio home is because then you're able to create literally whenever you want. Like, you're not on anybody's time. You don't have to wait to set up a session. You don't have to make sure that the engineer's around. You don't have to drive anywhere. You literally, like, if you get an idea in your head, you can just load up your computer or wherever you do it on your tablet, and just start recording or start putting an idea out there. And it doesn't have to be perfect at first. You can flesh things out. And that's the best part about it too, is because, like, you don't have to get everything done in one take or something like that. Like, if you go to a recording studio, unless you have like a great relationship with this studio, or a working relationship, it's most likely something that you're paying for hour by hour. So you don't have time to just like experiment and try off the wall stuff, or maybe take time to work on your verse or perfect something. But when you have that at home, you could like do as many takes as you want. You can experiment with things. You could try this effect, you can try that effect, which kind of segues into point number three, which is you get to learn so much more about the craft, because you get to experiment and like do things for yourself. So when you go to like a recording studio, pretty much, yes, you can have input and tell them to do stuff, but a lot of times they're still doing everything for you. And so you may not know like how to get certain effects onto yourself, and if you don't necessarily know how to like vocalize that, you may not get the desired effect from that engineer. Because I know I've been in circumstances where it's like, I know I hear a specific effect in my head, but because I can't really like explain in words how I want it to sound properly, the engineer wasn't able to do it. And it's kind of like, I'll settle for something that's like somewhat close, or like this or that, but it just is never right there. So when you start to do this at home, and you do research on YouTube, and you learn, and you start to really dive into it, you can start to figure out like, oh, okay, like I like to do this effect on my vocal, or I like when this happens. Like, that's honestly how Travis Scott got to the sound that he has nowadays. He used to record himself and engineer all his stuff, and like he would try just crazy stuff. Like, he'd throw delays on there and reverbs, and he would pitch stuff down and use auto-tune, and just like literally experiment until he found sounds that he liked, and then he just stuck with it and got better at developing those sounds. Excuse me. And then he pretty much has the sound that we know nowadays, and that is through experimenting, which he was able to do because he recorded himself. And so that's reason number three. You get to grow in your craft and really experiment and just push new levels because of what you get to try on your own. The fourth reason that every artist should have a recording studio in their home is because you can make money with it. You can literally turn it into a side hustle, or a whole, secondary business where you have a recording studio, or you can, get features done faster. Basically, in a collaborative effort, you can get other people involved, whether that be to make money, or whether that be to just, record your friends and be able to just start getting more music out collectively as a group. But it opens the door for now so many more possibilities. Like I said, which is great. Like if you ever need money, you could always just be like, hey, I'm holding recording studio deals, and then that's not something you have to do all the time. You don't have to turn it into a business. You could just do it for yourself, but that possibility is always there because there's always going to be a need for rappers to want to record. And the last reason is because it's so much fun. Like I honestly don't have a better reason than that. But like recording yourself at home is probably one of the best experiences because there's no stress, there's nobody in the recording studio with you unless that's how you want to operate. But if you're like an introvert or you just like a quiet space, you get that, you're in the comfort of your home. Honestly, like when I started recording at home, I stopped going to recording studios like altogether pretty much because the experience is so much better. Like I said, you could set it up when you want, how you want. Like I could record sitting down, I could record laying down if I want to, I could, if I really wanted to get crazy, hang the microphone from the ceiling if I wanted to, just have a wild day. But the possibilities are endless, and it became so much more fun when I started to bring everything into my home because, like I said, it just had such a different comfortness to it. Like I was so much more comfortable in my creative space. So that is all the reasons, in my opinion, why artists should have a recording studio in their home. If you don't have a recording studio in your home, stick around for tomorrow's episode. Make sure you tune back in because I'm going to tell you all the things that you will need in your home in order to have a recording studio. And like I said, you can do it for less than $300. So if you make that initial investment, you'll be able to save so much money on the long term. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, and I'll see you then.